on putting on a subcontractor.
Mm-hmm.
So I run a private counselling practice, and a lot of my work comes through the NDIS.
Yep.
So I get referrals through to go and mostly see people in their homes.
Yep.
For regular counselling. So just sign up an agreement to do so many sessions with them.
Yep.
So I'm increasingly becoming more busier with that. And so my thought was the possibility of putting on a subcontractor.
Okay, so is your question, should you?
Sorry?
Is your question, should you put on a contractor?
Well, yes. Yeah, I guess so. I don't want to go into it sort of blindly.
Yeah. Well, the answer is yes.
So I guess maybe the pros and cons around that.
Okay.
I'd probably about 70% capacity, so I do have a bit more space to take on a few more myself.
Yeah.
However, I'd like to do some other things in my business. So
okay.
I thought the next best thing might be to do that.
Okay, good. So the answer is yes. You can't build a great business on your own, and so you need other people around you. And a contractor is a nice stepping stone between, not having somebody and maybe having an employee, a full-time employee. A contractor is a nice stepping stone for that. Tell me, how much would you pay the contractor for a session?
Oh, good question.
Rubber figure.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be exact.
Percent-wise?
Yeah.
Maybe between 60, 70%.
You would so if you charge the client $100, you'd give them somewhere between 60 and 70 to the contractor.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that right?
The maths probably don't work at 70% by the time you take on the associated costs.
Yep.
Because if it costs you 10% in marketing or something to get the client, then by the time you give away 70 plus you lost 10, it's probably not worth doing.
Yep.
So you would need to keep it around 60%. And ideally it should be 50. Like, there are many industries where the contractor only gets 50% of what the clients build. So you need to know exactly where those numbers lie. But ultimately, the fact that you've got 30% capacity is a blessing. You shouldn't fill it. You shouldn't fill your time to capacity, I don't think, because you will just paint yourself in a corner. You'll get to 70 or 80 or 85 to 90% capacity and you'll be making more money, so you'll be excited, but you'll never be able, it's a lot harder to unplug from you getting to 90% capacity to go backwards to put somebody on than it is for you to do it now. Now is a perfect time for you to, because if you can put one contractor on when you're sitting at 70% capacity, you could actually probably put on 5 if you had enough leads, and then you're going to scale quickly. And if you were picking up 50% or 45% of the money from each of those appointments, and you put a team around you, you'd have a great business.
Yeah. So I'm currently getting an agreement made up as we speak in preparation.
Good.
Because going forward, I've got my audit happening, and so other counsellors may be dropping off because of the cost of that. And so I'm envisaging extra referrals coming through probably in the next, 3 to 6 months. So I guess I'm planning now for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I would go back and build a model around the numbers because I think you need to get more like 50% than 70%. Otherwise, I can't see the maths working sustainably ongoing. But either way, I mean, if it's the NDIS, there is so much opportunity out there. It's crazy. So you could go and build a whole bunch of contractors. Then ultimately you need to move people to employee because they'll cost you less per hour. And as long as you've got the work coming in for them to be full-time, then you will actually make more margin if you put them on full-time salary than you would on a 60% income split.
Okay. So what are some of the pitfalls then of having a subcontractor?
None.
None?
No. Because I just feel like if you don't do it, you can't grow. Now, you may pick a bad one, right? You know, there are some of those kind of pitfalls.
Yeah.
But in terms of actually the question of should I put one on, like there is no pitfall. You know, okay, let me explore that. They're not going to be as loyal as an employee, right? Because they're a contractor. That's why they've chosen down that path. They want to work with a few different people, or for whatever reason, you know, they're a contractor. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, if you can't afford a $100,000 wage, then, which is what I assume, then you just got to go to contractor. There are no downsides. You've just got to go put them on.
Okay. Yep. All right. Well, that all sounds really good, and the way I'm heading. So
now you said
that.
3 to 6 months. Don't wait 6. It's far too long.
Don't. Yeah.
You need to move on this like tomorrow or as soon as you possibly can.